Coming up in this Brightline construction update. This update looks at the first day of the 110 mph test trains. The test train would be running on the 11 miles of completely finished track between the White City crossover south of Fort Pierce and Rio crossover in Jensen Beach. I started my day at the St. Lucie River Drawbridge in Stewart to catch the Brightline train on its way to the test area. Bright Green would have the honors of being the test train on this first day, operating as train BLF 500. This bridge will remain single track initially, but work is ongoing to replace the ties across the bridge, and the mechanical equipment will also be upgraded to make it more reliable. There are longer-term plans to replace it with a new double-track structure. At this point, I relocated to the Walton Road crossing, which was Brightline and FEC's hub for the day's testing. Shortly after I arrived, the first test train passed through, headed north. There was a gradual testing plan for the day, starting at the previous maximum speed of 79 mph and working up to end the day at 110. This would be accomplished over 12 trips. Up to this day, the fastest a Brightline train had ever operated was 79 mph, which was the maximum speed for the FRA Class 4 track standards that the Florida East Coast Railway was built and maintained for. The track from West Palm Beach to Cocoa is being built for Class 6 standards, allowing a maximum of 110 mph. All of the testing was being done on the new Western Main Line. In the distance here, you can see the Port St. Lucie crossover, which is roughly the midpoint of the test segment. On this day of testing, the focus was on brake testing at the various speeds, rather than continuous running at the maximum speed throughout the limits. Here on the 5th run of the day, one of these brake tests was done right here at Walton Road. Here's a flight past the train just after it had come to a stop. In addition to the train crew, there were technicians on board the train monitoring sensors and recording data from each of these tests. Brightline's trains are manufactured by Siemens Mobility in Sacramento, California, and are currently made up of 2 SCV-40 locomotives on each end and 4 Venture coaches, 3 configured for smart seating and 1 for premium seating. Once the brakes were released, they got back up to speed to do another test toward the north end of the limits. On run 6, a brake test was completed just north of the Port St. Lucie crossover, so it is accelerating back up to speed here. It was able to get up to 90 miles per hour over the roughly mile from the crossover to the crossing. During the testing, all 7 of the crossings in the test section had flaggers in place, along with a law enforcement officer present. The full corridor was required to be sealed before each test run could begin, so the protection at every crossing was manually lowered at the beginning of each run until the train cleared the crossing. Run 8 was right around 100 miles per hour. Run 9 was accelerating from a stop that occurred south of the Riverview Drive crossing. As a reminder for anyone looking to go see these tests in person, please remember to respect the railroad right-of-way by not trespassing, never stop on the tracks, do not go around lowered crossing gates, and only cross the tracks at designated railroad crossings. Run 10 was my last catch at Walton Road, and it was at about 90 miles per hour. I moved south to County Line Road for the final 2 tests. It was moving at just over 100 miles per hour on this run. And to finish the day on the 12th run, it finally hit 110 miles per hour. Thank you to Brightline for some of their assistance with this video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Also check out my social media pages.